Extender says I'm not. But anywho, this is going to be an update for April 2021. And I'm starting here at the west end of the greenhouse. You can see the sun is just going over the horizon there. If you can believe it, we're forecasted to get snow on Tuesday, if you can believe that. Some say 2 to 3 inches or 2 to 3 fluffy inches. Who'd have thought it? But anywho, we are on the west end. East is that way, sunrise is this way, and comes over this way. So what's over here that's notable? My Dendrobium discolor still has those new growths that are progressing. Still do not see any new root tips, although last season's root tips are definitely attached to the mount. So I'm hoping to see either just more extension of the growths, or even perhaps maybe even something happening at the top. And there goes another. Anyway, I'll just leave that alone. That's nothing going on there. But this is my epidendrum that I just found that was in spike. It is compact compressum. It is a species. The tag is right there. It'll be a first time bloom for me. And you can see the sheath with the spike pointing out slightly, but it's there. Anywho, my Epidendrum milans has finished blooming. It just finished. I've recently put more moss around some of my mounts. There's a nice growth coming up here on my perennial crossed with chocolate drop. And moving on down, just some Schomburgkis. Here is my Bulbophyllum Caenolobium. And it is stinky when you put your nose in there. But nonetheless, I wouldn't do without this in my collection. Absolutely one of my favorite Bulbophyllums and orchids in general. Nice, gross lip for those flies. Nice pastel-y, sort of sunset colored Phalaenopsis. The name is Philos slurpy. And then up there, my multiflora is definitely going over, but yay, happy for the bloom. As I move down here, there's my Kaneko, Dendrobium Kamiko, which is a cross between, I believe it's Goldsmithianum and Dendrobium Victoria Regina. As I move on down here, that's another Bulbophyllum, Echinolabium. And this Phalaenopsis down here, it's had those spikes on it for the longest time. I'm not sure if it's going to progress. That's my Jaiho's Pink Girl times Manny Eye, which is Yapon Pink something. But moving on down the line here, I see, well, I've shown this. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 spikes on my Joyce Stewart and Brigham Joyce Stewart. You can see the spurs developing really nicely. It's in bud, and it has another Scatina that is hanging on it. That's on a mount, and this is a Scatina that's next to it. This is my George Kennedy cross with the Burnham that did really good this winter. Put up that new leaf, and it is completely root bound. And behind here, that's my longest Scott Leah, which is Scatinum crossed with Long Calcar. And right in front here is a Encyclia that's in spike. It's got a spike there, and then there's this other spike down here. And tag is, it's the Yamada Queen Adelaide crossed with Epi something Grandianum. So that's going to be a pretty one. Um, there is my Miltoniopsis Miltonia now. It's Miltonia thymatochilum, still growing that leaf there. This is Waking Up, another Florida Suncoast orchid here. This is my Martin Wolf crossed with Florida Stars, and it's got this new growth coming up, and I see roots, green tip roots, and I see there's new growth there. So that is Waking Up, yay. And here are just an assortment of plants, species, and hybrids. This is my rotostictum that I mounted on the log. Make sure that this sphagnum never dries out. Behind here is my Epi Nocturna, which does not look so hot. It lost a lot of growth over the winter, but it's got this growth that's hanging out over here. And as you can see at the tip of it, right there, if you can, that's a bud. Not really too much else going on there. There's a nice growth on my BL Cecilia. That's my Dan. It's my Dan. I don't know what that is. It's a pretty one. But anyway, it's just hanging out back there, maturing its growths. Yeah, nice little growth coming up there. That could be another little kiki. That is my Aranthes Hirati. And a lot of these are bulbophyllum hybrids that are waking up. So I'll just keep on moving on down, or I'll just turn around over this way and go back this way to the Phalaenopsis that I started off the video with. Very pretty. Hey there, Ron. I'm just doing a little update for April, since just to get it out of the way. That is my Trichocentrum that I mounted. You can see it. The light is fading in the day. And these are just some of my Brasavalas, and I've got some of my little Angraecums down here that I've covered in moss. My little Hyloides, which you can see, it's got nice green tip roots. Yeah, I just like to keep these just covered in the moss because they trying to keep them as moist as possible. And there are more Brasavalas that way. This is still going strong, which is my Miva Abracadabra. And of course, my Loei is doing well. It dropped a bloom somewhere, but that's okay. My Joy Spring Canary still has that fragrant bloom there. And I still need to get this covered. I don't want to show my files, so I'll just skip on down to my Hoku Gem, which is so lovely. Definitely appropriate name of Freckles. And back to my Dendrobium Wondernishi. Okay, if you've seen this too much, Lily Marie, still looking really good. Really nice. Even more so like fall colors, getting more of the orange in the lip rather than just the yellow, and then there's more of the Know what? What's up, Ron? Anyway, I am doing this update. You can talk to me. This is a nice, pretty little file that I got from Nats. It's supposed to be fragrant, but I don't see the fragrance there. This is my Ancelia Africana, and I guess I can see the red that people have been talking about. It was hard to notice it before, but now I can definitely see the red. Thank you, Ron. Love you too. It just gets beautiful, even more beautiful every day. Um, Even this weirdo here, the smell has gone, but the weirdness remains. That's Den spectabile, of course, and then distant cousin over here is Den macrophyllum. All Laturias, both Laturias, I should say. What else? Phalaenopsis Samba, looking really good. Not Samba, it's Amabilis, the variety Samba or Saba. And this Phalaenopsis is one of the parents of that. As I've already said in the video, you can definitely see the resemblance between the hot lips and that. So I'm going to keep on moving down this way. I've put my file hieroglyphicus here. They like a little bit more shady conditions. The scent seems to still be straw, not really much of a scent. Trying to see if this maxillaria right here, which is Alba, I believe it's called Alba, is trying to see if it's going to do anything. Should be putting up a growth or putting up a bloom if it's going to do anything. Other than that, my bulbos are just kind of sitting here. Of course, I'm waiting on my tenifolias to do something, but they're not yet, unless I suddenly see something. I mean, I do see a new growth right there, but that's not a bud, not yet. And there's another new growth right there. So anyway, we'll wait on that. And there's my Yamada, the yellow one. Moving on down this way. Certainly can't pass by my path. Well, this flower is not a great flower. As I had said in a previous video, I noticed when I had it at the office, probably because it's so dry, this is what I was talking about, how one side is completely fine and the other side, and this is what happened here, this left side just eventually, well, the flower is still there, look, it's completely, isn't that weird? How one side and this side seems to be the right side, although that's the only flower. But all in all, it's really, really beautiful. Really beautiful. Yeah, isn't that so weird? But what a beautiful, beautiful plant. And I see a sheep here that's got shadow in it, and there's another sheep there. This is the Kauai red drop, whatever that would be. And of course, I'm standing right underneath BC Miami that still has plenty of flowers and buds all around. And I passed by the fragrant buds that I will soon. I wish you guys could smell this one. This is the one that is my BC erosion. It's got those buds there that were just as fragrant as the flower that just got done. Oh, before I walk past this, let me show you the tag. Lovely lip, Montclair. So why I walked back over here was because this bud will soon be open. It is completely cracked. That'll be a first time bloom. Patricia Garfinkel, Glauca crossed with Intermedia. Yay. Okay, anything else? This is another Florida Stars crossed with Christy Masuhara, and it's coming alive as well. You see the roots there. There's a new growth right there. Nice big one starting. And there's another little one right there. All right. Okay, let's move on down. Move it this way. That epidendrum is not looking so hot, although it's got a new growth there. I guess the growths are okay. I wish it would bloom for me. I love those blooms, but that's fine. This epidendrum, on the other hand, I'm a little more worried about. This is my Epidendrum Nocturna, my other one. All of the old growth, as I've already explained, have died off. There are a couple that are still alive, so I do have hope for it. This is my Dimorphorchis lowii right here. Yeah. And it's got nice root tip right there. Down here, actually up here, this is one of my other Florida Stars, which is just BC Florida Stars. I don't think that's a clone. And this is just recently repotted in this little basket, and there's the new growth there. And I think, yeah, there's another growth that's right there, but it's getting dark. So let me move on quickly. Still looking really beautiful. Again, it has aged and has lost, but it's still fairly orange, but it's lost a lot of the red. It used to be a little more red in it, but still really beautiful. That is my Epi Magic Wand. What a look. Beautiful. And soon, my Thyle little one that used to be Vandopsis, Vanda, little one, or well, whatever it is. It's a Phalaenopsis now, and you can see the buds there. That's very fragrant. And right in front of it, I got a new bud open on my Den Canaliculatum, which is fragrant as well, fragrant antelope dendrobium. Little miniature there. And let me see if I'm missing anything here. Nice growths coming up on that plant. I remember that bloomed last fall. Catletonia crossed with Aurantiaca. It's got that growth. There's that growth there. And there's a growth right there. And I'm really looking at this bulbophyllum. This is my bulbo, what is it? I know what it is. Not magnum. But anyway, usually starts to put up, if it's going to bloom, it usually does it in the spring, right before I put the flowers out. Oh, not the flowers, but the plants outside. And they usually bloom from along the rhizome. You just start to get a nubbin, and then in a week, you see the bloom just miraculously appear. Again, this is my first time bloom, my beautiful Den Lemon Dance, which is a cross between Williamsii and Dendrobium trigonopus. It's lemon fragrance. That's a first time bloom for me. I got that from High Desert Orchids from Kelly. And this is another Florida Suncoast orchid that's been in bloom for such a long, long time. Very, very fragrant. There's Florida Stars, trying to get its spots. Florida Stars is the one to have. Okay, what else? Roy Tokunaga, again, Roy Tokunaga, still looking really nice. My epidendrums that I got from Equigenera are here that are still looking really nice. That's my Floribunda. No, not Floribunda. Something that's like fragrance. Maybe it is Floribunda. It is polyanthum. That's kind of like fragrance. And this is another one that I had got. This was my Nocturnum times Pseudoepidendrum. And it has since put up this little growth that is still pushing forward. Up here, I've got my Angraecum stitchum that I just ignore because if I look at it, it's going to die. And right up there, that's my Galliandra D's that bloomed for me last fall. And there's my another pendulum dendrobium. And this is, I think this is a Kachikiana. Yeah. And it's got a spike right here under the leaf. And let's see here. Down here is, pardon the light, it's my Shinyi Prince, which is still going strong. Shinyi Prince is Michael Kupovich crossed with, I think it's Rothschildianum. It's either Rothschildianum or Sanderianum. Can't remember. That is my Angraecum magdaleni, one of them that's doing very well. And right here is my Arangus modesta, and I just added some of that. And it's got a new root right there. You can see, and I think it's putting up another leaf, perhaps. Let me pick it up. Yes. So I need to get another hanger and hang that up here. It sits up here somewhere with some of my other Angricoids that I have here. I'll just move up here since I'm talking Florida Stars. I've been showing this plant off because it has started to put up growth. Pardon the light as well. It's not really blooming, but it does have lots of growth. And this is the Clone Elise. And this is my Sotorchis cross, which is a cross between both of the species. And I recently added some moss to it. It's kept that kiki that it put up last summer over the growth. And it usually blooms, starts to put up its spikes about the time when I put the plants outside. So we shall see. Hopefully it'll bloom for me again. This is my Bulbophyllum cocoinum that's putting up that new growth. I think it was going to bloom for me earlier, but I didn't water it and the spike dried out. Moving down this way, we've got an assortment of Phalaenopsis and Brasavala hybrids back here. This is my Epi Green Hornet, which I've had for many, many years, and it blooms every year for a very, very long time. Usually with several growths, from several growths, but some of the plant rotted off, so I'm hoping that it regenerates more growth. So you can see there's a pseudobulb right there that's just leaned over. Still moving on down. I'm not even gonna attempt to show you this Prince Edward of York, but I just did. And that little flower is still looking really kind of pinky. And as I move down this way, not much here until I get to my Den Nestor, which is It's got new growths coming up. And there's my sad citrina, which is going to be gone. But anyway, this is my Pastechia livida, which has one. Am I here? Am I? Yes, we are here. Okay, I'm here. So yeah, here's another spike, and here's another spike. So yay. Um, Over here, there's another spike coming up on my yellowbird, LC yellowbird, and there's another one trying to force its way out there. Um, let's see here. This is actually a good time to, I should do a video on my Barcarias, because this is a good time to point out their culture, because right after they finish blooming, you notice that it finished blooming on this one, which is usually the spring. Then they start to put up new growths. You can see that one's got a new growth, and this one down here has several new growths, even though it's up on the stem. This is the time when they need more shade, and they need water. Water, water, water. When they finish their growths, that's when you completely cut off the water. You can't see me. Am I not running? Well, anyway, I'll just keep going and pretend. Hopefully this is working. Uh, but yeah, they put up their new growths right after they bloom or during the bloom, kind of the similar way that deciduous dendrobiums do. When they put up their blooms, that's generally the time that they start to put up their growths, and then that's the time to start watering them heavily until they finish their growth, and then you cut it off, fertilizer and everything. And then with Barcarias, you give them, oh, well, let me start it again. I'm sorry.